to lose. I'm built to win. Applied myself. I filled it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss.
Pacers were going to make the playoffs. It didn't end so well for you, brother.
If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool.
You fell asleep at the trade deadline when we had a trade to get Kyle Lowry out of here.
They told me I couldn't do it. They told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie. I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like told me keep on running toes. They gonna take
this is what we gotta tell.
Every fan doing this.
Filled it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss. I pay for the cost. I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Apply myself. I filled it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss. I'm paying the cost. I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
Okay. Welcome to Refuse to Lose Sports. My name is Joe Jordan. We have a great episode for y'all today. I mean, we are mixing the sports up. We're talking about almost everything today. We got the crew back, as y'all can see. Myself, Dave, and Tomo. But I'm going to introduce these guests. Not guests, sorry. They not guests. I'm more likely the guests. But we're going to introduce these two superstars. After I let y'all know what we're going to talk about. So we're going to talk about, Joe. First of all, March Madness. We're not talking about CTC. Make sure you tune into him. But March Madness is here. And we're going to talk about our biggest takeaway in this March Madness. We got two guys on the panel who has teams balling. I mean, one hitting game winners and one just blowing people out. You know, the other one just watching TV at home eating popcorn. Now it'll be me, all right? We got to talk about Doc Rivers. What's up, Doc? Again, addressing his 3-1 blowing leads in the series. We got to address that. Miami Heat, all right? They are welcoming the Golden State Warriors. Jimmy Butler is back, but he has some comments about Heat culture, as I quote, right? So we know Dave's going to be fired up for that topic. And lastly, Asante Samuels, not junior, senior, has some words about Deion Sanders. So I want to see what Tomo got to say about that. And we got some breaking news backstage, and we're going to talk about it. Russell Wilson signs with the New York Giants. So make sure y'all stay tuned. But like I promised y'all, I got two of my bros with me. I got Davey Dollars here, fresh off the doghouse from yesterday. Had Mike on the episode. Hey, 3 episodes in a row had a guest. Yeah, Goat James Kingdom on there. Yeah, J-Mo on there. Now you got Mike. Make sure y'all go tune in to Dave's Doghouse. And on my far right, we got, my far left, your far right, Missy Get Done Son Tomo, co-host of In the Red Corner. They also just dropped the episode, right, on Sunday. All right, so make sure y'all tune into that. But how y'all doing, fellas?
Man, I'm doing good. You see, I'm back relaxed now. If you watched In the Red Corner, you know I had to dress up as a referee. So, you know, I had to break some things up, and I had to show y'all my new career venture just in case, you know, you guys don't want to keep becoming members. I got to show y'all I'm going to become a referee. I might see me in the ring telling people they need to take a knee. I'm joking, but I'm back. I'm ready to talk about some of these topics that we got going on, especially when you got two legends going at it on Twitter. So I can't wait to hear I know you want to hear what I got to say, but I want to hear what y'all got to say about that one too. And I'm also here. I could not be here when we talk about the Heat. You know how Dave be feeling. What's up, fellas? How y'all?
You might be surprised at my reaction today when it comes to Miami Heat. But I'm excited. I'm excited about today. I'm excited about these topics. And Carl, yes, we have room for one more. So if you're able to get on to talk, you want to talk about college basketball, come on, my guy. You know, you're the real expert. I'm just kind of, I guess I'm second to the expert, I guess. I don't know. But I mean, you actually do the show. So if you want to come on, you know where to find us. But guess what, y'all? Y'all know that we're a part of a movement.
Okay.
We're doing something that not a lot of other shows are doing.
What? What's that?
We're actually doing something that's called building a network.
Oh, snap.
You know, it's not too many people or places that think about doing stuff like that. So I got to give a special shout out to Joe because he started this entire thing. So Joe, shout out to you, my guy. So this is also for all the new subscribers and the new members that will be a part of the R2L family. You're going to be a part of something big because we will be the one podcast that comes from YouTube that will be the biggest network close to SportsCenter and to ESPN and close to Fox Sports. You're going to be a part of something big when you decide to join the R2L family. Not Death Row, but R2L family. So you know what, y'all? In honor of what we're going to do, of where we're going, let's turn up for all the new subscribers and the new members and everyone in the party R2L family.
Turn me up, 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 up.
Jody,
like we
do your thing.
You said I feel like a playoff game. I'm ready to go drop 30 now.
Da-na-na, da-na-na. Stephon Diggs just reached an agreement on a 3-year contract. $69 million deal, including $26 million guaranteed.
With the New England Patriots. Oh my goodness.
Okay, Teddy.
You got a weapon, Teddy. You got another weapon.
We're coach. Coach. They get cold up there. They get cold up there. Nah. Coach gonna say he get cold up there.
He liked the cold weather. Apparently, he liked the cold weather.
He just want to face Josh Allen twice. He a member of the team, I see.
Oh,
he is a part of FJA. He's your representation in the NFL now.
Whoa.
Make it happen for us.
We are 21 subscribers away from 1,500. Well, 1,600, sorry.
21.
1,500.
21.
So make sure y'all subscribe. You know, 21. And let's get it, man. We are streaming this on 3 different platforms: Facebook, YouTube, and X. So make sure y'all like the video on all the platforms. Make sure y'all follow us on all of our social media platforms. You can follow us everywhere at Refuse to Lose Sports. You can see it right under Dave. But on X, you can follow us at R2L Sports. So make sure you do that. And share this episode with somebody that you know or anybody so they could come on and watch this show live with you, because you could be involved in the show by being in the comment section. We can see all the comments y'all will be putting out throughout the show. Shout out to my boy Teddy being the first comment. My brothers. Shout out to Teddy, Mike, and Jovan. Had a great time yesterday watching the Kings getting destroyed by the Boston Celtics. It was pretty good. And it's Teddy in the parlay. Shout out to Teddy. Shout out to my boy Carl in the comments also. Room for one more. Yes. You can come on and watch. I mean, you come on and talk. All right, you're going to talk. And last but not, oh man, LJA Worldwide. Oof. And last but not least, AJ, go on, man. I read when I said LJA, I thought about AJA. Well, I'm tripping who wrote it. It's okay, I'm tripping y'all right now. Last but not least, enjoy the rest of the show. Tomo and tripping, so you take it over.
Yeah, when you think of FJA, you got to think of Pinky in the Brain, because what are we trying to do every day? Take over the world. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Mm-hmm. And just like we're trying to take over the world, CTC is trying to take over our brackets, because we do have a bracket challenge within R2L. And before we bring Carl up, I want to give him his flowers, because his bracket was practically perfect up until one game, and then he's still killing it because he's number 1 right now. So I just wanted to give you your flowers there, CTC, before we bring you up. But I want you to know one thing too: there are house rules. Big Ten is running it right now, so don't come up here with no hate, man. We on the same page. We on the same team right now until we gotta face each other. I don't need you coming up here talking about no Gator stuff.
Never mind.
Until we see, there we go. There go that Duke stuff. The ACC stuff over there.
Ain't got nothing to do with me. You're right.
I'm saying that's the ACC.
I'm an ACC my way out of it.
There you go. There you go. Now let's bring CTC on up.
Oh, you know me, so
I already know.
Shot, but I'ma chill.
I knew.
You almost brought me back to take a shot though. What you said at the end, but I'ma chill.
Yeah, we good. Until
it's all right. I had you call. I said a little something to eat. I was like, I'm gonna be quiet.
Yeah, hey, look, Big Ten.
All I'm saying is, look, man, the bank was open. That's all I'm gonna say. Just like I'm gonna say with this one is, You can take a quick breath. You can take a quick breath for now until Thursday, because then that's when the Sweet 16 ramps back up. But despite seeing a few upsets, a few down to the wire games, and quite a few first round, some would say upsets if you pick the wrong team on your bracket. But at this point, we have two tournaments going on. We have the NCAA men's and we also have the NCAA women's going on. And we just want to talk about what's the biggest takeaway from the tournament so far. And Carl, you've been dropping the episodes practically daily. First thing in the morning, you wake up. If you're on X, you see the notification there. If you're on YouTube, you see it there. If you're on Facebook, just like Joe said, we everywhere. What's your biggest takeaway so far?
All right, so I know a lot of people were talking. I just wanted to get this off my chest. I know a lot of people are talking about how the death of the mid-major Cinderella is over. But no offense, Tomo, because this literally is my example. But we are a Dairy Queen buzzer beater miss away from having Colorado State in the Sweet 16, who is a mid-major school. They just Dairy Queen just hit a buzzer beater at the bucket, bro. It is what it is. So to act like because 1 year a mid-major school didn't reach the Sweet 16 is over because of NIL is crazy when we had one literally almost right there. So let's not over-exaggerate. It happened. It is what it is. My biggest takeaway, though, Coach Cal and how he's changing his narrative, including the narrative I have on him. Tennessee, Arkansas, some may say that he got in because of the name. I may be some of the persons that may say that, but he's here in the Sweet 16. I know I talk trash on CTC, like, a lot of people hyping up this Rick Pitino versus John Calipari battle. Give me St. John easily. They went in there and they won the game. Shout out Carter Knox. Shout out Janelle Davis, Trevon Brazile made some huge plays down the stretch. Cal, man, Sweet 16. He's writing that narrative. Another thing I want to talk about is Kentucky as well, because a lot of people throw Kentucky. They lost Cal. Can they recruit? They bring in Mark Pope. And he's in the Sweet 16 too. Last time that Kentucky under Cal with 3 seeds was early exits. They're a 3 seed this year. They beat Troy. They beat Illinois to me in dominant fashion. Really wasn't scared in that game. So another takeaway to me is Kentucky. So funny enough, the two teams, Cal leaves, Mark Pope comes in, both in the Sweet 16. That's one of my takeaways.
Hey.
My takeaways are the viewership in both the women's tournament and the men's tournament are up. Now, if you want to compare it to last year, the women's tournament is actually down. It's down 22%. But this is the second highest, or should I say the third highest viewership in women's NCAA tournament history. 43% from 2023 when the infamous Reese and Caitlin Clark thing did this. So it's 43% up from there. The men's tournament, they're averaging 9.4 million viewers in the tourney. So that's one of the biggest since 1993. Yeah, so that's huge for the men's tournament. The other thing is we all saw a devastating thing happen yesterday to one of the best college players in college basketball, in Juju Watkins. Man, she was on pace to have one of the best postseasons in college basketball. She already had one of the best seasons, if not one of the most historic seasons in college basketball in her second season in college. She passed Caitlin Clark for most 30-point games in college women's basketball history. She also passed her again for most 20-point games in the first 2 seasons. And it's first 2 seasons for 30-point games in college basketball as well. She actually finished the season as the only college player in NCAA history to average 24 points per game, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks in one season. She's the only person to have ever done that. And now we're not going to see it for the rest of the tournament, and we more than likely won't see it next season because she just tore her ACL, which means she's more than likely going to be out for most of the year, if not the entire year. And she can redshirt and come back, but I mean, does she really need to come back? I think she did enough, even with this injury, to just go ahead to the WNBA. So it's sad to see that that she had that injury last night. But man, I gotta say this. I gotta give a shout out to her teammate, Kiki, because she actually balled out in that game. She put up 36 points in that game. They ended up advancing. but now we just won't see Juju anymore. You know, I was one of the people that said that I think she's going to be a better WNBA player than Caitlin Clark just because of her all-around game. Now, I know some people going to say, like, Caitlin Clark, she can play a little bit of defense. Yeah, it's not like Juju Watkins. Juju Watkins is a not just someone who's going to get in the patch lane. She's going to get some blocks as well. But I definitely want her to have a speedy recovery, of course, because she's going to be out for a while. I'm pretty sure this is her most devastating in her career, and for it to happen now, it's sad to see.
Joe, you on mute, Joe?
Yeah, you definitely on mute.
One of my reactions is what Carl said about the mid-major situation. How people are, oh, it's the death of the mid-major. The story of March Madness is a Cinderella story. I'm like, y'all relax. Like Carl said, a buzzer beater away. I don't think it was a travel. I thought it was clean, but a buzzer beater away from mid-major school going to Sweet 16. And to be honest with you, I think it's actually the NIL is actually helped college basketball because the talent is kind of spread out now versus like the talent being like all in Kentucky or all in Duke and stuff like that. I remember we saw this. I think it was 3 years ago, Carl. I don't think you were doing CTC then, but 2 years ago when the Final Four teams, we were like all four of them were like schools that don't have history of like. I gotta go back and look. I think it was 2 years ago when the Brandon Miller's year. That year.
That was last. No, that wasn't last year. What? No. Brandon Miller year. I don't think
that was 2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago. In the final, the Final Four was San Diego State, FAU.
FAU, Miami, UConn. Yeah, I'm about to say Brandon Miller didn't make the Final Four.
No, he didn't. But the year he played though. So, but that was exciting to see. Like the talent is spread out now. I like that. So, and my other one is Cooper Flag. I mean, like a lot of times you see freshmen, they come in, they dominate in the regular season, you can call it, I guess. But then we really want to see how you're gonna respond in the tournament. And so far, y'all know freshmen with 30 points, 30 plus points, 15 plus rebounds, 10 plus assists through their first 2 games over the last 30 years. Cooper Flag, the only person ever done that.
Yep.
So he's showing up I keep saying playoff. He's showing up in the tournament. I can't wait to see him in this upcoming game. But those are my 2 biggest reactions that like people are overreacting on the Cinderella story, and Cooper Flag is balling out. And I'm taking him over Ace Bailey. Right, I'm telling you right now.
I got to push back on one thing.
Okay,
you just disrespectful to San Diego State. They got history, bro. You gotta relax. They made some tournament runs. They got Kawhi. They had Xavier Thames. They got some runs, bro. They had Steve Fisher from Michigan. He was coaching them at one point, I believe. They got a little history there, bro. I just gotta push back a little bit.
Oh, okay. You the college expert. How recent did they reach to the Final Four?
Final Four. Now Final Four, it might have been some years, but they had some. I think some Sweet 16, some Elite Eights.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So for me, my reaction was I'm piggybacking on one of my reactions was to piggyback off of what Dave was saying about Juju getting injured, because it definitely would have been it's been entertaining, but it would have added a little bit more to the fire, because I think the next team that they play is UConn, right? I think that's Page. I think that is it. Let me see. I want to make sure. No, that's Oklahoma. But if USC was to win, then her and Paige would have had to face off. And that's where a lot of people were looking forward to that matchup, because Paige been balling as well. And then you got these 2 names. And just like with the rivalry that we just seen transfer over to the WNBA, people were looking for another one of those, just so we can be like, all right, now we got 2 more that's coming to the WNBA. We just seen them in college. Let's see what's going to happen here. So that's one of my biggest reactions. My second one is, Carl, you know where I'm going with this one.
Of course.
You know where I'm going with this.
You think, Playboy?
We got 2 teams in the Sweet 16. They ain't never been in the Sweet 16 at the same time. And they both got there with nail biters. Because if you watched the girls play last night against Alabama, I just watched, what's her name? Ashley. I want to make sure I get her name right. Because Sarah Ashley Baker, she dropped 45 in a double overtime. She played for Alabama. She was cooking. Every time Merlin thought they had a 3-point lead, she would find ways to get them back in the game. I turned on the TV and was like, man, not again. I got to sit here and do this one again, because we all know what happened with the men's Maryland game. They showed every clip when it was every time it was the last second. It was like 4 games this season where it was just like, all right, anything under 7 seconds, Maryland gonna blow it. They're gonna blow it, and they literally showed them in back-to-back. I don't want to remember the video. I still hear you laughing to this day in that video clip. And I said, they not about to let them do it again. As soon as that 3 went in, I said, come on, not again. And then when the bank shot went in, I sound like the coach. I was like, we got to be due for 1. We just need 1. And my bracket's still alive because a lot of people was clowning me. I told you I just made the bracket for now. For now, if they beat Florida, I don't want to hear nothing. I'm talking trash then because I've been.
Oh, you got it. You got it. Y'all beat Florida. You got it.
It's up. But those are my biggest
for sure. I don't think you're gonna be able to, but if you are, then yeah, you get your chance.
But why? But why would you make them your natty?
So I'm gonna peel back the curtain. It's been a while since I've seen a Maryland team this good. The Crab 5 that they calling them. I understand you about to say something, Carl. But
do your thing. No, do your thing.
I gotta ride the wave. I pulled the mark when I filled out my bracket because at first when I was filling it out, I filled out my bracket. I said, you know what? It's gonna be a close game, and they're gonna make me mad. I almost cursed on the show. They're gonna make me mad, and they're gonna lose it. I said, you know what? I'm just gonna go down with the ship. They're gonna win it all. I had Duke winning it all at one point. I said, you know what? Nope. I'm gonna just be ignorant. I got Maryland winning it all. And if it happens, it is what it is. But if it won't happen,
I'm sorry. Come on, bro. Why you keep saying stuff like this? We supposed to be Big Ten, but you keep saying stuff like this.
I'm saying things that Draymond didn't say.
Let it ride.
I'm saying things that I didn't pull a Draymond and guarantee that we'll win. I said if. You know what I mean? So if it happens, then I look like a genius. But if I don't, I'm still crazy. So it's just cool.
Oh my God. You got it. Because I'm trying so hard.
It's all right. Because that means we got to play y'all.
So you muted.
Maryland's not the only team that's that has 2 teams in the tournament. Ole Miss has 2 teams in the Sweet 16.
No, he's talking about them.
The 2.
I know what he said because it's the first time they've been there. But I'm saying they're not the only teams represented as in both tourneys. You got Duke along with Tennessee and Ole Miss.
They've probably been there before together.
I'm just saying.
What I would love to see. In my bracket, I got Michigan winning against Auburn. And I got Michigan State.
Oh, that's another BTA on the year. I'd love to see it.
I would love to see Michigan State
for a chance.
And then in the Final Four, I would love to see Michigan State against Maryland. That'd be dope. In the Final Four too. Oh my gosh!
Tell you.
Hey man, it's a Big Ten powerhouse over here, man. Just happy for everybody.
I think the SEC got more teams, all right.
They do.
SEC? No, hold on.
They do.
No,
they got
17.
They were dropping left and right.
They had
more bids,
but they got 7 teams in the Sweet 16.
They do.
Alabama.
They got Florida, Tennessee,
Alabama,
Kentucky, Arkansas.
Oh,
yeah,
there you go. They won. They right there.
They might. Yeah, we started off with 8 bids, and we had 2 drop. We had Illinois drop, and we had Wisconsin drop.
I mean, we had 3 bids. They both dropped in the first round, so it's just us.
Yeah. The ACC was weak, man. It is what it is.
You talking about UNC?
It was.
Nah, yeah, UNC, Clemson. And Louisville.
Bro, Clemson folded, bro.
They didn't fold. What happened was supposed to happen.
Well, I'm not gonna say when I say fold, I mean like they got upset.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Were we upset by UNC?
No.
I just wanted to make sure.
I was upset because I picked the wrong one of them on my bracket.
I had UNC going further than they did.
I had Ole Miss winning first round, bro.
Ole Miss. I thought I originally had UNC losing the game.
I think I still had Ole Miss in the tournament right now. Oh no.
I didn't. I had Iowa State being Ole Miss, but Keyshawn.
Yeah, I had UNC. No, you're right. I had Ole Miss losing to UNC. Yes, I'm tripping. Yeah.
Another thing is I want to make sure Paige Beckers gets her shine because she's kind of been overshadowed. She kind of been overshadowed. It's been more talk about like Juju Watkins and like Hannah Hidalgo. Paige she been quietly balling. So
right.
I want her to get her just due as well. She's gonna be the number 1 overall pick in the WNBA draft. She is cooking right now.
Another person coming to DC. Don't worry about it.
DC, they already got the number 1 pick. What's the name? Dallas.
We just traded for the 3rd. We're gonna try to package that up and get the 1st.
Bro, you playing with Enrique.
All right. We could play some
We
Enrique
found out
Iglesias.
players.
We could play his music in the locker room. She coming to
You
DC.
shout out players. I gotta give a shout out to Walter Clayton. Because boy, them 2 threes against UConn late in that game, and in guys' face, these weren't open threes.
Yeah,
he just pulled them in their face and cashed them. I gotta give a shout out to Walter Clayton.
And you might not like this card. I gotta give a shout out to Caleb Love.
Okay, that's fine. We saw what he did against Duke in the regular season this year. 3 for 13, 1 for 9 for 3 with 8 points.
And it's gonna happen again. We're gonna strap that boy. Telling you right now. We're gonna strap that boy.
I said it in the chat.
He's a different Duke team that he played last time.
I'm about to say, you know what happened last time he played Duke in the tournament? You know
that team wasn't this team.
Yeah, exactly. And remember last time he played an ACC team in the tournament, Clemson.
Exactly.
He had a Hall of Fame stinker. And he's going to have another one.
That was nasty last year.
He's gonna get strapped this year. I'm telling you right now. Also,
go ahead.
One last thing. Carl, you know where I'm going with this one. I have seen too much stuff of people trying to defend Dan Hurley on Instagram. Just because he won 2 titles don't mean he can't be criticized. I don't care what you've done in the past. What have you done for me lately? You can't cry about the invitation that you decided to go to. You can't throw your students under the bus and then cry about the refs doing something and cry about somebody making a dunk at the end of the game when you had a player to do the same thing.
Oh, yeah, he was heated.
But this is my thing with it, right? First of all, y'all didn't get cheated against Florida.
I don't want to hear about none of that. Dan Hurley, look, if you stop crying. You be a coach. You're supposed to be the head of the team. Be a coach. Be a guy that leads the team. Don't be making excuses saying that I might not have my team in the invitational no more. Yeah, whatever.
He said, I don't want to do another 3-day invitational because whatever the reason. Like, bro, what are you talking about? You knew it was a 3-day invitational before. You're just sad because you went out the first round. All right, say the 3-day invitational, right? That has nothing to do with day 1 when you lost. Day 1 is a regular invitational no matter what, and you lost. So don't blame the 3 days straight for why you couldn't get a win. Secondly, again, with the whole Jemiah Neal dunk in the Big East tournament, excuse me. Didn't you go to the Creighton student section, point to your ring finger, and say you own this school?
Yeah.
Didn't you do that?
You pulled the Aaron Rodgers.
You did that, right? And you don't think they saw that? You don't think they felt offended by you doing that to their classmates? You don't think that they had that in the back of their mind during that game? But now when the rabbit got the gun, all of a sudden you pouting. Right. And then you threw your team under the bus. You told a reporter that you can't coach this team as hard as your other 2 teams because they're not as hard or they were soft or something like that. You threw your team under the bus instead of just figuring it out. And then you want to throw a hissy fit when you lose to Florida and say they cheated y'all. They didn't cheat y'all. Walter Clayton stepped up and hit big shots. Florida made the plays, and you lost.
And the only reason why you were in the game is because y'all was hitting free throws. You didn't score a bucket for like 3 minutes straight.
Exactly. They didn't cheat you. You lost, bro. I understand competitiveness, but there's a difference between competitiveness and crying. And you're crying when you're not winning. And it's sad. Bro, I get you a 2-time back-to-back national champ. And we all praised you when you did it because you said it in the press conference. Get your wins now.
I said you
did say that.
I said UConn should be considered a blue blood just because of that.
I think they already are one, to be honest with you, because Gino not Gino. I can't remember his brother's name, but Jim Calhoun, because Jim Calhoun. Gino is the coach of the women's side because of Jim Calhoun. But bro, like you said, you was going to do what you did, and you did it, and we congratulate you. But now, like you going out sad. Just you lost the game. They honestly were the better team, if we being honest. Give them their props. Move on. Get ready for next year.
He's salty.
Man, it's a great way to close that one out. Carl, thanks for joining us. You got some last words for us?
We got Ole Miss, Sean Padula, man. I love Sean Padula since he was at Virginia Tech. Big shot taker, big shot maker. I'm excited for that game Friday night. Secondly, I got to get out this abusive relationship with Marquette. I just have to. I don't know what it is,
Carl,
but I just keep falling for it every year. Every year. I was so on. If you go back and watch my Selection Sunday show, I was so on New Mexico over Marquette. But then, oh no, Marquette just comes creeping back into my life, and I gotta pick Marquette. That's what ruined my perfect bracket. My bracket was perfect for almost 2 days straight.
Yep.
And then Marquette ruined it, and Xavier ruined it. Probably shouldn't have been there. Texas should have closed that game out. But I got to get out this abusive relationship with Marquette. And I know Joe wants to see Michigan versus MSU. Auburn, please beat the brakes off Michigan. I've been having Michigan fans. I couldn't hear them when they blew the Big Ten championship when they had first place by 2 games and they got spanked and swept by MSU and went 2-4 their last 6 games. To blow it, couldn't find a Michigan fan. They won a Big Ten championship tournament. Now all of a sudden they act like they care about basketball again. I'm gonna say it like I told my dad. It don't matter if y'all win 8 games like last year or 20 plus like this year. You're still getting spanked by Big Bruh.
Yo, you and Tyler the same, man. Y'all just beefing with y'all parents in sports.
Hey, look who come out the cut.
The guy that don't. Hey, we still alive, brother. You can say we trash all you want. We a 2 seed in the Sweet 16, brother. What a Big Ten championship. And I ain't beefing with my parents. I'm beefing with Pops.
Pops, your mom cool, you know.
My dude,
take the S off of that.
Yeah, I'm bad.
Right.
Well, same thing with Ty. He beefing with his dad too. They're a Commander fan and a Notre Dame fan.
And a Notre Dame fan.
Sheesh.
Hey, sometimes your parents be ops, man.
You ain't gotta tell me. I told you what my mother did all last season. That's my team. I'm like, you ain't talk about football for 5 years. 5 years. I ain't hear nothing about football. Tell you, boy. Thanks for joining us, Carl.
Appreciate y'all for having me, man.
Of course.
Appreciate you, sir.
Oh, dang.
Said he won't.
Oh, no, I felt like it was just like, all right.
Oh, yeah. What? Yeah. We can't dab him up. We on air.
You're all right. Then you disappear.
I mean, some things disappear kind of like 3-1 leads. It's funny that y'all was talking about coaches, and it was funny that y'all was talking about coaches. Because as soon as you said something about Dan Hurley, I was like, man, that sounds like Doc making excuses. Hey, man, well, look, you know, Doc Rivers said he don't get enough credit for winning 3 games in a playoff series while blowing 3-1 leads. Like, you want the credit for winning 3 games, but don't want the discredit for blowing the actual lead. All you had to do is win 1 more game, Doc. So we're going to say, what you say, Doc? And I'm going to tell you what Doc said before Joe answers this, right? Because he said, no one tells a real story. And I'm fine with that. I can't do Doc voice for this long because I might mess up. I got other topics to introduce. But it's unfair in some ways. I don't get enough credit for the 3 wins. I get credit for losing. Duh. But I always say, what if we had lost to Houston in 6? No one cares. One thing that I'm proud of is we never been swept. I can't wait to hear what you say after this. I'm going to repeat that. One thing I can say that I'm proud of is that we've never been swept. All the coaches that have been swept in the playoff, my team's a cheat. He sound like a cow. All right. A lot of them overachieve, and I'm very proud of that. Joe, you want me to list the teams that he had a 3-1 lead against?
No, it's called
All right, cool. Do your thing, Joe.
I feel like it's a broken record. I think we talked about this before because this is in my notes already. I ain't have any notes.
we talked about this in the NBA chat for sure. I think we might have had we might have talked about it on here, maybe.
Yeah, y'all had this in my notes from last year. It's crazy. 2 years ago, matter of fact. 2 years ago.
You didn't even have to write that down.
I didn't. It's the same daggone notes, literally.
So 2 years ago, promises was all you heard.
See, I just had to add one stat. Doc Rivers, first of all, Doc, come on. JJ Redick said it already on ESPN, first take. He doesn't take accountability. That's his problem. You want to hear coach. I did my not so average top 5 coaches, right? And one thing I said about Nick Sirianni was what? The man takes all the criticism. When a team lose, when Jalen Hurts fumbles, he says, I got to do a better job. Like, bro, no, you don't. Boy got to hold the ball more. So, like, that's what coach is supposed to do, take responsibility in the media. Now, you want to coach your team through the media, that's fine also, but you also got to put yourself in the team when as far as accountability. Doc Rivers, do y'all know this? He has the NBA record for the most losses in Game 7, which is 10. He lost 10 Game 7 games. And a lot of times, Game 7s, it comes down to who won it more, who's more prepared. Coaching has a lot to do with that. Also, he has a 17-33 record in closeout games. Bruh. You think that's a coincidence? 17-33 record in closeout games. And you look at the teams he had in his career. Why is he 17? This is including the first round and the second round. Like, it's including when they play the bad teams. 17-33 record in closeout games. Now, in 2003, when he was up 3-1 on the Pistons, when he had T-Mac, I would give him grace on that one because T-Mac was unbelievable in the first 4 games. He was unbelievable. He was on a heater. Then the last 3 games, he kind of shot poorly and they lost. And they were not the better team. They were the 8th seed. I give him that. But that's all I'm giving him. Because in 2009, he was up 3-2 on the Orlando Magic. Lost 2 straight. Now, don't get me wrong, KG got hurt. But you up 3-2 on Orlando Magic. And then you lost 2 straight while scoring the least points in that series in each game. The last 2 games they lost to blew the lead. That's the least amount of points they scored in that whole series. Choke job. Including by 19 at home. They lost by 19 at home, y'all. That's ridiculous. 2010 against the Lakers. They were up 3-2. I told y'all, I'm a Kobe fan. I was rooting for the Lakers. I was like, dang, they are 3-2. It's going to be tough. And what happened? Lakers won 2 straight. Won 2 straight. They just wanted them more. Lost that game. Or lost that series. 2012 against the Miami Heat. You up 3. You beat Miami in Miami. And you go back home up 3-2. Just close the deal out. LeBron comes, go crazy. Score 44 points, 15 rebounds, 8 assists, something crazy like that. And then game 7, you lose to Miami. Another ball you drop. Now, this is the one right here, y'all. 2015. I mentioned this before on the show. It's coming back to me now. 2015, y'all. The one he made an excuse. Oh, Chris Paul was on one leg. Okay. You up 3-1 against Houston. In 2015, the second round. You got the Clippers. Great team. Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, JD. All these guys. Up. So look at this. You up 3-1. The Clippers were up 87-68. They up 3-1, y'all. 87-68. With 3 minutes left in the third quarter. They should win that game, right? Do y'all know what happened after that, y'all? They were outscored 51-20 for the rest of the game. They lost 119-107, and he's talking about some Chris Paul was on one leg. Well, let me tell you the players that played those minutes to close the game out. Dwight Howard, Terrence Jones, Corey Brewer, Trevor Ariza, John Smith, Jason Terry. Harden didn't even play. So it wasn't like James Harden went crazy. Literally, the backups came in and took the lead from them and won that game. And then they lost the next 2 games. And then lastly, the bubble. Oh, nobody wanted to be there. You the coach. Bro, you the coach. Your job is to keep the team together. That's your job. Your job is to empower your leaders, Kawhi and Paul George. And your job is to keep the chemistry, what's the one I'm looking for? The vibes. The morale. Like the coach does that. The coach got to make sure the vibes are right. The vibes were off in the bubble. But they were up 3-1 on the Nuggets. And they had double-digit leads in all the games they gave up. Every game they was up double-digit in the second half and gave up 3 games in a row. So, Doc Rivers, stop the cat, bro. Like for real. Like stop what you're doing, bro. You always come out and see. I read the interview. I don't know if they asked him about it though. Did they ask him about the 3-1 leads, or did he just come out and voluntarily say, I don't know. But in my DeMarcus Cousins voice, this is ridiculous. We need to get that soundbite, man. This is ridiculous.
Stop the cap.
Trash.
Yo. Go ahead, Dave.
I mean, what is there left for me to say? I feel like Joe said everything. It's just, this is hilarious, man. All I can do is laugh at this because Doc just knows how to. He knows how to ruin himself. That's what he's really good at. He's really good at putting himself in a bad picture. Doc, we already say this about you already, that you're a choke artist. You coach choke teams. That's just what you do. Joe, you know what? I said something earlier this year about the Bucks. I'm taking that back. I'm taking it back. The Bucks are not going to the NBA Finals. I'm taking it back. Bruh. I can't believe I even said that. Now thinking about everything, hearing what he said, I can't believe that I actually believe that Doc Rivers was going to get there. Maybe I thought that Giannis and Dame was going to be able to get there in spite of Doc Rivers. But then again, it's Doc Rivers. He's going to find a way to have them lose some kind of a lead, for them to lose a series, and then I'm going to be like, well, there's no reason why I should have even picked him anyway. And the Bucks just, the crazy thing is when he took over the team, they were 30-11, and they fired the coach that was in front of him. They got worse when he took over. How do you get worse when you're supposed to be moving on to a better coach? I just don't understand it. And then he went and got, Darvin Ham came back. He went back to the Bucks. They won the in-season tournament. People was like, oh, okay, yeah, look, they back. Now look, defense still trash. Still trash. It don't make no sense. I don't really know what else to say. Like I said, Joe said everything. Joe had everything I wrote down. Joe had already said. So it's no point in me repeating what Joe said. The Bucks just got Giannis. Just find a way to go somewhere else if they're gonna keep Doc. Dame, I mean, you there now. Should have been in Miami, but we'll talk about that later. As far as I know, Celtics are going back to the finals. As far as I know, because the Bucks they might not even sniff the Eastern Conference Finals. So they'll be lucky to get out of the first round, in my opinion. I mean, they're gonna be the fourth seed right now. That's what they are, the fourth seed in the Eastern Conference. Probably not even that. They're the fifth seed, aren't they? Isn't the Pacers
they're
the
fifth seed? Yeah, they're the fifth seed.
So I mean,
the Pacers first round. That's a matchup.
Pacers put you out. Pacers put you out before. I can see it happening again. I can see it happening again.
I can see it too.
You be lucky.
I'm calling now. Matter of fact, my bad. Go ahead, Dave.
They'd be lucky to get out the first round. Joe, I'm with you. I don't believe in them. I just don't. They don't have enough defense. They don't have enough of anything to be able to get it done. So it's not happening.
Dave, you said you don't know what to say. I know what the little voice in your head was saying.
My guy, you in the doghouse.
That's exactly what Joe put him. You put him right in the dog. He said, no, you go in the back. In the corner right there. We'll talk to you in a minute. Because the part that got me was, well, at least I've never been swept. Like, what? What do you... Hold on, wait. Going off of everything, because if Joe got the notes, and we all seen the games, I know those reporters that heard you say that, seen those games, and for you to say, well, at least we never got swept, and I want my credit for at least winning the 3 games, why do you want somebody to come in and say, well, hey, Doc, you know what? Well, at least you got 3. Like, you weren't supposed to even beat most of them teams, so you got 3 wins. Like, you should feel good about that. No. The whole point of a series is to get up and close it out. Like, why do you think everyone kills the Warriors for that deficit that they got? Like,
you play to win the game
right there. Like, people kill the Warriors when they talk about LeBron winning his first championship in Cleveland because of the lead that they had in the series. It's like, you just got to win one. You just need to win one. Doc, you were in this situation countless times. Like, the years is just crazy, and the teams that you had is also crazy. Now, I can see if you had like this Wizards team and you went up 3-1, and everybody was like, all right, Doc, you blew the lead. Like, y'all really weren't supposed to be there. But half of those teams, you were actually supposed to be there. Again, the bubble, making an excuse. Nobody really wanted to be in the bubble. LeBron did. The Heat did. The teams that wanted to get to the finals, they actually wanted to be there because they had something to win. The Rocket series, like, you can't say that Clippers team was bad. Like, the teams that you had don't add up to what you're trying to get by with. Now, if you had teams where it was just like, you know what, we're going to talk about it in just a second. Now, if you had like the Jimmy Butler Miami Heat, and you were up 3-1 with those type of teams, boom, we would probably let you get away with something like that. But your teams were great. I'm with you, Joe. You said everything. You nailed it perfectly. People need to just stop asking Doc Rivers about his personal feelings about the game and just ask him about his most recent game, because whatever you say outside of that is just gonna be like, hey, bro, we don't believe you.
My issue is the excuses he's making. Did you see it? We were the AC, and we won at 3-1. That was a really good coaching job. He just really patted himself on the back. Like, no, it was T-Mac. T-Mac was cooking. But like I said, I let you slide with that. But then against Houston, we didn't have home court advantage. Bro, you up 3-1. Like, what are you talking about? You had another home game after that. And Chris Paul was on one leg. James Harden didn't even play, and they came back and beat y'all. And in the bubble, that's the only one I would give up. But even in the bubble, I mean, nobody had home court advantage. I'm like, bro, this is an excuse every time. Just take the L, bro.
Just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. And stop trying to take credit for getting there, for having a lead. It's not, no one gets credit for having a lead. No one gets credit for getting there. Exactly. That just means you didn't have enough to close it out. That's not good. It's not good. What do you think?
You have the most Game 7 losses in history.
Man,
why do you think I criticize Kyle Shanahan so much? Because you get there and you don't close it out. You don't get credit for getting there. You don't get credit for getting there.
He said, we losing 6, then like if we losing 6, nobody make a big deal. You might be right, Doc. But the fact that you up 3-1 and you needed to win 1 game out of 4, like, come on, bro. Like, and you already won 3. So, like, you capable of winning 1 more game. Like, that's the problem, Doc.
I know that reporter had a field day when he heard that, when he was like, nah, he ain't just say that. Well, at least we never been swept.
I know, right? I left that one alone. I know you want to talk about that part. At least we didn't get swept. Hey.
That's like asking a quarterback at a rally, how you feel? Well, I think we close to the Eagles. Hey, Doc, you and Dak been hanging out, bro. Oh, man, I can't. Sports, bro. I'm telling you, if you are having a down day, there's going to be a sports clip somewhere that's just gonna make you laugh, man. Or there's gonna be a guy that say, you know what, I don't want to play here no more. He done said this about 5 or 4 of his exes already. He's like, look, I don't even want to be here no more. I don't like where y'all doing things. Go somewhere else. Life's a little bit better. He now returns back to Miami this is his first time back since the trade. We gonna talk about it because Jimmy got sold. You don't know about it, go check it out on YouTube. But Jimmy Butler thinks that the Heat culture is a little bit overused. And before I let Dave go, I hope I got the right quote. You know, sometimes, AI be setting you up. But he said, I'm not saying it in a bad way, but I think it's a little bit like overused talking about the Heat culture. It's a great organization, but I think a large part of the culture is you get guys that buy into a winning mindset. You get guys that buy in, you get guys that rally, you get good players, and you get good opportunity, and you talk about Heat culture a little bit more. I'm not saying it to talk down or anything like that, but I think whenever you really have good players, you can name it whatever you want to name it. Shout out to the.
I have been very, very critical of the Miami Heat and this entire situation with Jimmy Butler. I've been pro Jimmy this entire time. If y'all pay attention to what I've been saying, I've been pro Jimmy. I'll say 98, 95% of the time I've been pro Jimmy. Jimmy does get some fault in this, of course, because of the relationship that he had with Pat and, how they both, pretty much butted heads. And some of the things that he did or said, some people say he didn't give effort and nothing like that. But there's been a question that's been asked a lot about Miami Heat. And people want to know what Heat culture is. Well, let me introduce you to the guy who introduced it to the Miami Heat and who brought it here after he, when he took over.
Been here. It's very simple, okay? And I think it covers the board if you have any kind of an imagination. And I think I've explained this at times to you, Peter, about what our mission is. Our mission in Miami was that we wanted to become the hardest working, best conditioned, most professional, unselfish, toughest, most admired team in the NBA.
That is what Heat culture is supposed to represent. There are other things that people want to know, like what else is what's tell us more. Tell us more. So hardworking, relentless, professional, and unselfish play. Best condition, toughest, meanest, nastiest team in the NBA. That's fine. D Wade used to say this thing when he was in Miami. Nothing is difficult. Everything is a challenge. Through adversity, we'll be strong. Every last minute, every last second, every man, we fight. That's what Dwayne Wade used to say in the huddle a lot. That is what Heat culture is supposed to represent. However, I feel like the person that introduced this to Miami did not hold this up to himself. Because if you say that you're professional, then how come you weren't professional when it came to the Jimmy Butler situation after the playoffs last year? Why weren't you professional during that time? That was unprofessional of you, Pat Riley, to tell Jimmy to shut up in front of everybody. That's unprofessional. That's not Heat culture. Now, I'm also holding the Miami Heat to some of this heat as well, because when you talk about meanest, nastiest team in the NBA, when you think about the Miami Heat right now, y'all, and I want to hear your answer. Do you think this team is one of the meanest, nastiest teams in the NBA? Just this season?
No, sorry, Bob.
Nah.
Okay. So that pretty much makes it that part of it non-existent, along with the professional and unselfish play. You can kind of sort of hear that, but that's not what you see in Miami Heat basketball. Now, I also did some research to see exactly how we are, because when you hear about toughness, you think about physicality, you think about defense.
Mm-hmm.
12th in defensive rating, so we're not even top 10 in defensive rating. We're 18th in steals. That's not good. 18th in steals. There's 30 teams in the NBA. So there's 17 teams better in steals than you in the league. Guess where we are in blocks?
26.
Last in the NBA.
Said he ain't got no big man.
We are 14th in opponents' fast break points. None of these numbers are good. I'm telling you this right now. I'm just telling you, none of these numbers are good. 17th in opponents' points in the paint. This is because we did not have Khalil Ware starting center when we needed him. If you look in the fourth quarter, he's not playing a lot of big minutes. He's a 7-foot center who can block shots and get rebounds. He's a pretty good defender. But what does Spo like to do? He likes to play small ball lineups. He'll have Bam at the 5. When Bam does not like to play the 5, he plays his best at the 4. If you look at when he switched from 5 to the 4, he actually played a lot better at the 4 because that's his natural position. He's 6'9". He's not a center. I get it. He played center, but he's not a center. Now, if you want to look at offense, that's supposed to be the finesse part, I guess. But you can still be physical in offense. 15th in turnover percentage. That means we turn the ball over a lot. That's undisciplined play. That's not disciplined basketball. 23rd in offensive rating. Also not good. 19th in net rating. Not good. 28th in offensive rebounds. We're not physical when we need to be. This is not what Miami Heat playing right now is not Heat culture. Now, where I disagree on Jimmy is when he said that it's overused. I wouldn't say that it's overused. I would say that it's not explained. It's not explained enough for people to understand what Heat culture is. Most people, when they come to Miami Heat and they understand that the environment is different. When you go to other teams, if you talk about winning coaches, you talk about Boston. You hear anything about Boston culture? Do you hear anything about Warriors culture? You hear about a winning culture. You hear about a winning culture, but you don't hear anything that says Warriors culture. When you think about the Lakers, you don't hear Lakers culture. You can name all the other good teams in the NBA. There's no specific culture there. It's either a winning culture or a losing culture, but it has no specific name to it. Heat culture is something that's specific with the Miami Heat because there's no other team that cares about your health. There's no other team that talks about that because remember when Kyle Lowry was on the team, he was getting criticized a lot because he was not healthy. Think about when Shaq was here. Shaq was out of shape as well. During that time, Shaq was being criticized as well because he was out of shape. That's one thing about Miami Heat culture is when it comes to being in Miami, you have to be in shape. They look at it, all of that stuff. So that's Heat culture. Heat culture is staying in shape, being professional, being tough defensively and offensively, being one of the meanest, nasty teams in the NBA. Right now, we don't represent that, but I won't say that it's overused. Because if you look at all the teams, and if you look at how it was represented before this season, Miami Heat was a team that a lot of teams were scared of. Well, I won't say scared of, but a lot of teams had to make sure they were extra prepared for. That's what I'll say. They had to make sure they were extra prepared for because Miami Heat in the playoffs, no matter who was there, you had to make sure you came ready to play the game. Because no matter if it was Andre Iguodala who was on the team, when we had it's not James Crowder, is it? Is that his name? It's not James Crowder. It's something
Jameson. No, I'm thinking about the wide receiver.
I
It's
can't
Crowder though. I know what Crowder. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, with the dreads.
He's
Yeah.
on your team right now,
Look-
Joe.
It look like Burna Boy.
But if you think about all the when I name these players, you're gonna automatically think Heat culture. Alonzo Mourning, Jay Crowder, Alonzo Mourning, Udonis Haslem, Tim Hardaway, Eddie Jones, Rashul Butler, Caron Butler, James Posey, Eddie House, Mike Miller, Shane Battier. What do all these guys did? They brought some kind of toughness to them. They brought whatever it is. It was some kind of toughness, some kind of professionalism that they brought to the Heat culture. That's what you're supposed to have here. Technically, that's supposed to be represented by Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero. Now, Bam shows some toughness, but it's not consistent. Tyler Hero shows some toughness, but it's not consistent. That's not to say that they don't represent Heat culture, but it's not exactly what you see out of the leader in Heat culture. Because the leader in Heat culture is Dwayne Wade. You hear they still call it Wade County. Jimmy Butler represented that. That's how it has to be. And right now, Miami Heat basketball, Heat culture has not shown up. That Heat culture is not having 19 double-digit leads and blowing them and losing those games. That's not Heat culture. I won't say it's overused. It just has never been really fully explained.
Yeah, I just got one thing I want to say about that one. When I heard him say that the term Heat culture is overused, I was wondering, like, is he taking a shot at Udonis Haslem? Because he's one of the people that like speaks about that culture a lot whenever he's on TV. He's like, look, this is what the culture is. And everything that you said, Dave, is essentially what he says the Heat culture is. So I was like, is he talking about that? Because that's the only time I hear people talk about it. Or like the 5 years that he was there showing what the Heat culture is.
No, I don't believe Jimmy was taking a shot at anybody. I think he was just talking about the term because I do hear it a lot. You hear when other NBA players talk about Miami, they mention Heat culture. When you look at other analysts, they mention Heat culture. So it is used a lot. So it's just that people don't explain it for people to understand what it actually is.
He did say I'm not saying it in a bad way. I get him, but I mean, that's a great thing to have when people think of your team is that you know what the culture is. Like when you say the players that you named, we can name 6 players now. If you think of Marcus Smart, he was like, if Marcus Smart was to go to the Miami Heat, you'd be like, okay, he fits the culture.
Dylan Brooks. Even if I named Dylan Brooks, he would fit fit the culture. There are guys that you can name. John Morant, he would fit heat culture. If you think about Anthony Edwards, he would fit heat culture. There's just certain guys. There's just certain guys that you name. You can say, all right, I could see them in Miami. You can't see them. No. one by the slip that through. No.
So Tomo, if you can you read the quote? And it was a long quote. Can you read the quote again? Sorry.
I'm not saying it in a bad way, but I think it's a little bit like overused talking about the Heat culture. Mm-hmm. It's a great organization, but I think a large part of the culture is you get guys to buy into a winning mindset. You get some guys that buy in. You get some really good players, and you get the opportunity to talk about Heat culture a little bit more. I'm not saying it to talk down or anything, but I think whenever you have a really good whenever you have really good players, you can name it whatever you want to name it. Yeah.
Appreciate it, Tomo. Now, so I kind of agree with Jimmy, but I kind of disagree with Jimmy. Miami Heat, like they said, they do have a culture. Like, don't y'all have like this conditioning, like a conditioning standard?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like
that's automatically tied to Heat culture.
You see what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, I hear the words Heat culture from other people outside of Miami than people in Miami. Like you said, analysts, like I said, you hear a player, he fist when Jimmy Butler signed, everybody, he fist the Heat culture. So I get what he's saying. Like, you have guys that buy in, you can call it what you want, like the Warriors. But Heat culture, we get what it is. Heat culture means like he's explaining in the video. The Warriors culture was strength in numbers, but it showed. It was on display, strength in numbers, and that's just how it is, So I agree with the Heat culture quote and what it represents. And then I know you read, like, I know you're upset that y'all blowing a lot of leads. Y'all not looking like Heat culture right now. But the part I agree with Jimmy is, like, you gotta have the personnel to fit the culture. And right now, y'all personnel, especially with the guards, like it don't fit. Jimmy was the missing piece y'all needed, and then it showed. Like, it went to a new level. So that's that. And also Miami, like, it's hard to judge Miami Heat in the regular season. Like, I remember 2 years ago, they were like 30th in blocks. I looked up, they were 30th in blocks and 27th in rebounding 2 years ago, and they went to the finals. Because in the playoffs, Miami Heat, that's when the real grit shows. Regular season, man, y'all were number one seed one time, and it was crazy because y'all were hurt. Like, if it was in out the lineup, y'all still been number one seed. But outside of that year, y'all were what, the fourth seed at best in the bubble. Outside of that, y'all were just like,
we were the fifth seed in the bubble.
There it is. Y'all were the fifth seed in the bubble. So y'all never really had home court advantage in the first round. Outside of that first, when Jimmy Butler was there. Outside of that first year, that number one seed year. So the regular season is hard to judge Miami. But when they get to the playoffs, like, if y'all get to the playoffs this year, because y'all sliding, if y'all get there, or even the play-in, and y'all look how y'all look in the regular season, like, get blown out after having a big lead, then we can throw that Heat coach away for the season. But if y'all compete and, like, take somebody to the wire, even if y'all get swept, if it's a close game, every game, that's Heat coaches showing up, because y'all do play hard. Y'all give y'all best shot, whoever y'all play. Even the Nuggets won 4-1, but Jokic had to be and Jamal had to be all world to win those games. Like Jokic played perfectly almost that series, and y'all were playing good. It's like they were just good. They just great, So I agree with the Heat coaching standpoint, but like Jimmy said, you got to have players to fit the culture.
That's the part.
Yep, that's the same thing I said. You gotta have the players. We don't have that leader in Miami. Jimmy was perfect for Miami.
I thought Bam was like, what the heck?
Nah, Bam said a couple seasons ago that he didn't want to be the leader, so he doesn't fit it.
Somebody will come around.
We'll see.
Watching that video though, I was like, I don't know, is that Pat Riley or is that Jerry Jones? I was feeling a little way.
Hey, I think Miami winning too. By the way, check the score a little bit. Miami winning. Okay, Dave. Y'all 28-22 in the first
I
quarter.
don't care about an early lead. I don't care about an early
Did you
lead.
talk about blown leads, Joe?
Talk about me in the first 3 quarters. I need to see what's going on in the fourth.
Jimmy Butler got 2 points, 1 for 3. 6 turnovers. I'm just playing.
Yeah,
6 turnovers.
No.
That don't sound like Jimmy.
So the crowd done got to him.
The whole thing, he got 0.
Well, from blown leads to blown coverages. Joe already knew I was going with it. Now, I don't know where this beef came from. I don't know where I can say where it came from. It came from a video clip that came up on Twitter. Asante Samuel's been saying this since he started his podcast. You know, he's been talking about cornerbacks and how they play and just the style of how cornerbacks play for a while now. And I knew Carl was gonna say that in the comments as well. I seen you on Twitter, but hey, man, we're here now. So, Coach Prime was doing a video. I guess it was at the draft, and he was just asking he was talking about a technique. It's called the T-step, and he was showing people. He was like, "Why do you even want to do the T-step?" So let me find the quote right here, and it says, "Coach Prime beats T-step." That boy right there, he's used to the bicycle step. Boom. All right, got it. Coach Prime said, if one of my players do that, the T-step that he's talking about, I'm ripping their face mask off. And he kind of laughed about it. You know, I think it was him and Bucky. They were talking about it. He showed them an example of stepping back, and then he did the T-step. And I was like, okay, well, that's just Coach Prime. But it's, like I said, Asante Samuel had something to say, and he took to Twitter. And he said, once again, do not listen to this foolishness. Of course, he never learned how to T-step. His athletic ability was in another time. T-step is the best technique to get the football. Not running out of the break. This is comedy. And then he showed a link to his podcast or his foundation, right? Bro, I would say to each his own. I was a T-stepper. That makes sense. That's why you like MSU. But Dion replied, I'm joking, Carl. I'm joking. I just had to get my shots off. But Dion replied and said, sir, foolishness. God bless you, my brother. Tell them what you really think. Hold up. This is what you really about, sir. You forever taking shots at the sky. And he said, Mickey Andrews responsible for teaching us what I teach, and it seemed to work like wonders for us, right? Boom. So the question is now, right? look, they're going crazy in the comments. But the question we have now is, did Asante Samuel have a better career than Deion Sanders as a cornerback? And that's the question. I was more so, this is interesting to me because the fact that these two, both of them are good. We all know what Prime is. We all know what Deion Sanders is. He's great when it comes to it. When it comes to pendulum swinging, as far as like who has more impact on a football team, we already know who's going to win that battle. It's Deion. There's no way in the world you can ever tell me there was a player that played on two teams that seen each other in the NFC Conference Championship that got them to the Super Bowl to beat. He was on the 49ers. They beat the Cowboys, went to the Super Bowl. He said, you know what? I'm a jump ship. I'm prime time. I'm going where the lights is at. Went over to Dallas. They ended up beating the 49ers, went on to the Super Bowl. So when you go there, I understand Asante gonna say, look, man, I can't fight that because I seen that. You had to study it because he was there before you. When it comes to them going back and forth about the technique, I'm with you on that one, Carl. I was like, whatever works best for you. It's kind of like how people shoot their free throws. They all know the real technique. Everybody has the true form and fashion in which they want to shoot a free throw. But whatever works for you that's going to let you make the shot, do it. Prime saying what he said in the video, and you saying that the T-step helped you get to wherever you at in your career, and you took offense to it. Some things you could just see and keep scrolling. That's what the whole internet is about. You can keep scrolling. You don't have to reply to everything. That's the one thing I always say about Michael Parsons. The fact that they even have to answer this question is we all know that Deion Sanders is the better cornerback between the two. Now, if you want to throw the stats out there, you can throw the stats out there. I know the one stat that Asante put up was basically saying 100. Deion Sanders 188 games, 53 interceptions, 5 playoff interceptions, 2 Super Bowls. And Asante played 153 games, 51 interceptions, 7 playoff interceptions, 2 Super Bowls. You just want to throw that short stat out there and go back and forth with people on Twitter all day, you can do that, Asante. But as far as who had the overall impact to organizations when he went there, there's going to be an Eagle fan somewhere saying like, oh my goodness, Asante did this. But I knew that's coming. I'm saying it's Deion. Like I said, we can go through the stats. We can talk about all of that. I know it's flat out Deion. I'm also wanting to come on here and talk about why did he take so much offense to what Prime had to say about the T-step. If he want to teach his cornerbacks a different way of actually getting to the ball and covering wide receivers, don't be mad at that man for teaching them that. If it works for him and it works for them, cool. The fact that he said, if I see one of my players doing that, I'm ripping their face mask off, is because he's not teaching them the T-step. So that means they're going somewhere else and learning it and bringing it over to where he's at. And he's like, no, I didn't show you that. So whoever taught you that, you need to go back over there because that's not what we're doing over here. And Asante, if you want to do it the opposite way, that's on you. But don't go back and forth and start throwing out stats because people are starting to say what they're going to say. Because people know who Prime is. People know who you are, but people are just like, bro, Prime had a bigger impact. Fellas.
Yeah, like Asante Samuels, I like his confidence in himself. And he was a great player. He was really good. You know, he was an interception machine. He led the league in interceptions twice and pass deflections twice. But he always throw out the interception stat. Like it's the end all be all. Like if you have the most interceptions, you had a better year. Because his focus is the object is to get the ball, which is true. You want to get the ball. But for you to get the ball, they gotta throw it your way. I mean, Sauce Gardner, he don't never get interceptions, but he don't get the ball thrown his way a lot. This is how it is. You know what I mean? Like
last season. He got thrown to a lot last season. He was getting cooked.
Oh, he's from last year? Yeah. Last year he didn't have a. I mean, he wasn't getting. I won't say he was getting cooked last year. I mean, he has like probably to a standard. I wouldn't say he was getting cooked though. Like he was still one of the best corners in the league.
Yeah, I mean, yes, but what I'm saying is compared to his standard, he wasn't having a lot of great games last season.
Oh yeah, okay. But then like another like so that's how I look at it. I look at it like that's not the end all be all. Darrell Reeves had 1 year, and that's off the top of my head. 1 year when he had like 6 interceptions, something like that. Matter of fact, we talked about it before. DeRon Bland and Trayvon Diggs.
There we go. I'm gonna say that's the one.
Both of them, Trayvon Diggs almost broke the record, right? He almost broke the record with most interceptions in the season. He was going crazy. How much he had, Tomo? Do you remember on top of your head? Well, he had a lot. He had a lot. But he also allowed almost one of the most yards in passing yards.
Not one of them. He allowed the most yards. It wasn't one of them. It was the most.
So a lot of people said, why didn't he?
All right, Dave. He need all that, Dave. I know we're a sports show. We ain't have to be precise. All right.
So a lot of people said, why didn't he win Defensive Player of the Year?
He had 11.
He had 11. I'm like, bro, he was getting cooked. But then I remember people said like, but Stephon Gilmore led league in interceptions and he won Defensive Player of the Year.
I was one of them people. Then I did my homework.
But he also locked down people also. Like he was a shutdown corner. Like he was legit the best corner in the league. PS2. He didn't lead the league in interceptions, but he won Defensive Player of the Year because he was locked down. So that's the Darrell Reeves, at least in my lifetime. I didn't grow up watching Deion, and I'm 34. So like Deion in his prime, I was a kid. But I saw Darrell Reeves when my brain was fully functioning. I knew what was going on. Darrell Reeves was a guy you put out there, and you ain't got to worry about him. This receiver's getting X'd out. Those are the best corners. Now you got hawks. Like Asante said, was a hawk. Like he would pick the ball off. C.J. Gardner-Johnson is a hawk. But is he the best safety in the league? No. But he is a ball hawk, though. He would take the ball from you. Then you got guys who are ball hawks and are shutdown corners. That's Deion. Deion was a ball hawk and a shutdown corner. So that's why, like, interception is not the end all be all. So obviously Deion is the better corner because you can literally put Deion somewhere on the receiver and then you ain't got to worry about him. Just like you could do with Darrell Reeves. PS2. Christian Gonzalez right now. I think he's like to that level. Like you could put him on somebody and leave him alone. We tried to do with Marshawn Lattimore, it didn't work.
That's a hamstring. That's a hamstring. He can be all right next year, right?
Yeah, see. So
I want my man playing the
Champ
slot.
Bailey. Exactly. Champ Bailey was a ball hawk and a shutdown corner. I remember Champ Bailey had a stat I saw one day when he didn't allow the red zone touchdown for like 20 games in a row, something like that. It was something crazy.
Champ was
so yeah. So shutdown
Daryl
corner.
Green was different.
Yep. Shout out.
Charles Woodson was different. There's some dogs out
You
there.
must know where I'm going with this, because I'm about. He's not top 10.
Dang.
He's not even top 20. He's not top 20.
Whoa.
Asante Samuel's not top 10 or top 20, though. I'm sorry, he not. Prime, Rod Woodson.
Oh, he got a list. My man, go ahead.
Prime, Rod Woodson, Reeves, Champ Bailey, Charles Woodson, Night Train Lane, Mel Blount, Daryl Green, Ty Law, Mike Haynes, Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman was a better lockdown corner than he was. I understand that at the tail end of his career that it wasn't so good. That's because of injury.
That's one thing I like about Richard Sherman.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And he had a great supporting cast around him.
He did, but he was still a shutdown corner.
Bama had safety help a lot too. But go ahead.
All I'm saying is you can name a lot of other corners that were better than Asante Samuel. You can go now, even if you eliminate him. I can go somewhere else. There was a guy, D'Angelo Hall.
Yeah, D'Angelo Hall. Shout out to Commanders.
He was nice. He was nice. I could even. What's another corner I can name right now? Jimmy Johnson. He's an old corner. He used to play for the 49ers back in the day. He was a more of a shutdown corner than Asante Samuel was. When you think about Asante Samuel, yes, he was a ball hawk, but we've seen him get beat on plays as well. There's nothing. Asante Samuel is definitely one of the best cornerbacks we've seen play. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that he's not great. I'm not saying that he's not legendary, but he's not even the best cornerback to ever play for the Patriots.
Dang.
I just named 3 of them.
And Reeves was there too. Yeah.
Reeves played there. Oh, yeah, Tyler played there, and Mike Haynes was another one. He's back in the day, but he played there too. So all of them were all of them were shut down corners. I'm just saying. And then Prime, I mean, like Carl said, this shouldn't even be a conversation. You talking about stats. This is key to what this is what Kev would say if he was in a situation. You gotta talk about the context. Stats ain't everything. Asante Samuel, yes. You had a season where you had 10 interceptions in one season. Yes, I get that. Don't matter. It don't matter how many interceptions you get in one season. We've seen that happen with 2 Cowboys players. I'm not gonna bring it up again, but we've seen that happen where someone's had a lot of interceptions, but they also give up a lot of yards. It don't mean nothing. Now, you've had some great playoff games as well. I still remember that game where you was 1-on-1 against Marvin Harrison, and he only allowed four catches for like 40-something yards in that game. You played great. Y'all ended up winning. But Prime was in a different atmosphere. I'm sorry. His wide base, the way that he was able to just to line himself up against the corner, he would make it seem like he got beat. And his recovery speed was out of this world at that time. Like, the reason why corners jump jam and quick jam now is because of Prime. It's because of Prime. Do you not understand that? The reason why you were able to be so good is because you had to watch Prime.
That's it.
Like, come on, bro. I have other things that I can talk about when it comes to Prime, because I used to study Prime. Like, he was lightning quick when it was breaking the ball. He would mirror his receivers, and his close down speed was the best in the league during the time when he was there. He changed franchises. Like Asante Samuel, when you went to the Eagles, you didn't change the defense. You didn't change the franchise. Prime did that. Prime did that in back-to-back years. He did it with the 49ers, then went to the Cowboys, and did the same exact thing. You show me where you did that. You can't. So this conversation just needs, it should have been non-existent. He just, I don't know. He, like you said, he a stat merchant. I said that he's a stat merchant. He just looking at the stats and think that's the end all be all, and it's not. That doesn't tell the story.
Let me
You
add
gotta
one more
watch
thing
the tape.
Let me add one more thing to the stat merchant, right? Because stats equal accolades, right? And we're not even going to talk about the ultimate accolade because y'all got the 2 Super Bowls, but Pro Bowls and All Pros and Defensive Player of the Year. Like the stats equal accolades. So that right there lets you know what Prime was at.
Prime got 8 All Pros and 8 Pro Bowls. Like,
and 1 Defensive Player of the Year.
Yep.
And 6 of those All Pros were first team All Pros.
Like, that's it.
And Asante got 1, right?
1.
No
All Pros? Now you got 2.
He got 2 All Pros? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the 2 years he let it lead, probably. He had 10 and 9 1 year.
And then even if you look at passes deflected in their careers, yes, Asante Sammy got 164 and Prime only got 25. But that's because they threw the ball at you a lot more than they did the Prime.
That's what I'm saying. Like the pass deflection stats is like, bro. St. Jude's got a lot of pass deflections. I mean,
and I don't want to do this because Asante, like, he played in NFC East. You already know what quarterbacks in the NFC East going to do when they got cornered. They just going to throw the ball over there anyway. So you're going to get tried. Like, that's just what happens when you're in the NFC East. I'm sorry. Look at Lattimore, like Joe said.
Unless you're Prime. Unless you're Prime, it's going to happen. Because when Prime is with the Cowboys, they weren't trying that man that much.
Prime was a ghost. like Dave said, you would think he was open.
Field.
Bro, look.
Mike, like Wi-Fi.
In our team last year, pass deflections. Mikey Sammerstill, he led with 14 because he's a rookie that was trying on. He had 14 pass breakups. Frankie Luba was second with 7. Benjamin St. Juice was tied with him with 7. Noah Igbenogany, come on, Tom, help me out.
Igbenogany.
He had 7. You see, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, you gonna throw it to him. They don't have opportunities to hit the ball down. Like, come on now.
Hey, Carl, you took it back with that one.
He definitely did take it back.
Terrence Newman over Asante Samuels? I don't know.
Terrence Newman
was a dog, Joe.
I want us to definitely. I'm not saying Terrence Newman over him, but Asante Samuels was also a dog, though. He
was.
Terrence Newman, I don't know. I probably take Asante Samuels. I'm sorry.
It's a good argument.
If you're sitting in the draft room, we can go back and forth right up until like the last second. He's like, all right, I might lean towards Asante, but yeah, it'll be a good fight.
I mean, he said he gets so. What's the ultimate stats? He got any All Pros? No.
I said stats equal accolades. If you want to bring up stats, see, and this one I'm not bringing up stats. See, if I was Asante and I brought up stats, you might get me. Well,
Damian Lillard is out indefinitely with a blood clot in his right calf. Dang, that's crazy. Yeah, he out indefinitely.
He out for the season. Yeah, he ain't coming back.
The Bucks are definitely done.
Yeah,
man. That's serious, man. The blood clots are. Whew.
It just happened to Wemby. Wemby out for the season with his blood clots, and we all remember what happened to Chris Bosh. His career ended because of it. So
dang. This is a serious matter. I should be joking right now. Jimmy got some.
Look, he went right back. Jimmy got so.
Jimmy want a rib. Jimmy want a steak. Jimmy want a piece of your chocolate cake.
Jimmy went out in Miami, and he with the Warriors. Jimmy better help me get back in this lock 'em in race.
You got a dub.
I'm looking like I'm moving up, but I'm talking about the R2L lock 'em in segment.
Okay, Joe, we tied.
Yeah, Dave.
Okay.
Hey.
I mean, he was only a game behind the whole time anyway. It's not like I had a big lead.
Yeah, I was right. But hey, we about to take the lead, man. Hey, listen, I know I'm very good. I know we are competitive. I'm taking. I'm trying to create some separation. You feel me?
That's not about to happen.
All I'm saying is don't be like Doc Rivers. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, come on.
That's all I'm saying. I see where y'all at, but don't end up like Doc Rivers.
All right, look. It says Damian Lillard is on blood thinners, which has stabilized a blood clot. He will continue with regular testing to get him back to good health. So he out for the year. What the heck?
Hopefully he all right, man.
His bag just felt like I by itself.
They heard what you was talking about, Jimmy.
His bag been sitting here every day. Never fell. It just fell. Go ahead.
Shouldn't have said nothing about Jimmy.
Look. But this is our R2L Locker Man segment. As you can see, the records there are right there. They speak for themselves. And with this Locker Man segment, we're basically telling you all which sport we're choosing that we're going to bet on. Again, it could be point spread, it could be money line. You could add these to your parlays if you choose. But we're letting you know right now we are not sports betting aficionados. So these are our opinions. Just like when you put in your parlay or when your homie call you and tell you about it's a lock, when he say Paul George to hit 8 threes, if you want to put that in, that was his opinion and you listen to him, okay?
And you better not listen to him.
And when I say 8 threes, I meant 8 threes from the podcast. When I'm talking about Paul George, that is. So again, these are our opinions. You can add these to your parlay if you want to, or you could take these 3 bets and make it a parlay and come back and become a member with the winnings. But again, these are our opinions. So, Joe, who you got?
I am taking Denver Nuggets over Milwaukee Bucks minus 2.5.
Okay.
Denver is at home.
I mean, that should be an easy dub.
They're only minus 2.5 favorites, which is crazy.
Yes. I mean, have you been watching them lately? I've been
watching Bucks too.
They were losing some games, so
Deep fried nuggets.
I have UAB plus 4.5 over UC Irvine in the NIT tournament. So that's me. I'm calling an upset.
Gotcha. And I want to make one note because I said I was going to do this going forward. These are games for the following day. They're not for today.
No.
Yeah, because I don't want someone to try to look for the game and they're like, "Where is that? I don't see it." So these are our bets for tomorrow. Wednesday.
I have made a few mistakes and called the game for that day, but I later changed it in our group chat that we have to the next day.
Yep. See, now if you're in like California or something or the time zone difference, you might get lucky. But again, game start at 7, so we already start the show. We can't help you with the bet if it's already out.
Right? Exactly.
So we want to let y'all know. And I'm jumping out again because they got me a win, so I'm going back to the NHL. And I'm picking the Oilers plus 1.5 over the Dallas Stars.
Dang, you going against Dallas?
Yeah, what you mean? They ain't close. Now, when football season come around, it might be a little different. That's all I'm saying.
Dang.
Dallas one of them teams in the NHL, Tom. I don't know. You might have another L in your record. I'm
just saying it's close though. Last time.
Yeah.
And then the Oilers home, they got a good home record. They 22-11.
You're right. Hey,
I'm banking on the home record.
I see where you're going.
I'm trying to get to 500.
All right. Last words. My last words. Shout out to my last words. Dang, I just feel bad for Dane. I'm just getting all these notifications about Dane, man. Dang. So shout out to the whole R2L network. Shout out to the whole R2L family. Like I said before the show, I haven't checked, but we are 21 subscribers away from 1,600. 1,600. All right. So make sure y'all subscribe if you're watching and you haven't not subscribed. Tomo going to get a shout out to the members. But become a member also. Read about them. And shout out to Lambo Anlo for the intro song. Shout out to my brother Ed Han with the logo. Shout out to my sister Tonise. Just celebrated her 37th birthday. Dang, Tonise. Happy birthday to you, though.
About to hit that 40.
40 getting close, yeah. But Kings, man. How many times can I say this? I'm done. Just don't make the playoffs, bro. Go to the play if you want, but lose. Just lose. Don't make it the playoffs. Follow the Atlanta Hawks trend. Get the first overall pick, first out the play-in. Cooper flag. Capture the flag. All right. Commanders. Hey, Juju, get well. Get well. JD, I see you. But Commanders, we straight. I can't wait. till the season starts. And guess what? As soon as we take the division lead, I don't care what nobody say. Shade's coming back on.
We know. We know.
Okay,
We wouldn't have expected nothing less, Joe. Like,
he come back on. I don't care that Eagles about, oh, we super, yeah, but last shit. Hey, that's cool. We're gonna enjoy the moment. That's what we're
so
gonna do.
just so y'all know, week 1, if they win the first game and the Eagles lose the first game, the Shade's coming back.
Now, if we win and we play first, Shade's coming on. If it's a tie, I'm
just
gonna
said
say it. No. The Eagles win if we play first and we win first, we first place. Now the Eagles play first, they Super Bowl champions. Dang.
I would say, so what if like the Cowboys play the Giants and they beat the Giants,
That's
right?
different.
And now we actually are number 1 in the division.
That's different. You are
and
actually
coming on. Yeah.
Yeah. That's how we got it. We beat the Giants week 2. And we were number 1. Our 1-on-1.
And never gave it back for like a good 6 weeks. I remember every episode.
So yeah, shout out to my homies, my brothers, you know, Dave and Tomo. Shout out to y'all too.
Appreciate you.
Do you want to be a part of something different? If you do, become a member today. Be a part of this thing. Be a part of this. Be a part of this train, man. Be a part of the ship. We're going somewhere where a lot of other places haven't gone. Be a part of it now. You don't want to miss out on it. Join R2L family. Shout out to everyone that's already in the chat. Shout out to all the people that have shows. Appreciate y'all. Let's keep going up.
Up, Dave voice. And piggybacking off of what Dave said, if you want to be a part of something great, and shout out to the family members, shout out to the superstar members, that is, shout out to Joe, Dave, myself, Teddy, Cardo, Coach Coombs, Javon, Lamar, Giovanni, Chris, Decorius, Mike, Taniqua, and Tone. And you, like Dave was saying, you want to be a part of something great. You want to be a part of the foundation of something. Because I just seen a report somewhere where they were talking about how much money people made off investing in Uber early and how much they made so far now. See what happens when you invest early, the return on investment be great. So like Dave said, click the link below, become a member today. Help us help you with your sports debates. Because you want to win sometimes. You don't want to lose all the time. You want to win. So come over here so you can start winning some of those debates. Or you can make an auto-tune version of LeBron James song. Whatever you want to do, it's there for you. And my last words again is I'm piggybacking again and shout out to everybody on the network. Again, we're closing out on a good month. Let's make April an even better one. And we see y'all Friday. I won't be here, but
y'all know we're about tomorrow week.
Hey, I'm hearing spirit.
Yeah, we will see them on Friday.
I'm like prime time when he played defense. You might not see me on the screen, but when the ball go up, there you go. AKA the intro.
All right, y'all. That's all we have for y'all today. And we'll see y'all the next episode.
Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.